All right, here we are in beautiful Newport Beach,
Absolutely.
right? Hyatt Regency. That's the SSDA annual Superintendent's Retreat. And just so fortunate that I could be with Melanie today. She's a longtime partner of Next Gen Math at Hope Elementary School. I wish my kids went to a school named Hope Elementary School. Don't we want hope for a better future and a better climate, right?
Absolutely.
But do you think hope is necessarily a good strategy?
No.
It's not.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so what we're going to learn about with Melanie today is about what's been going on at Hope Elementary School for the past few years in terms of mathematics and overall culture and leadership. You're in for a real treat. Why don't you tell us about yourself and your district?
I'm Melanie Matta, Superintendent Principal at Hope Elementary School. This is my 8th year at Hope Elementary, serving the students in the Central Valley. We have about 235 kids at Hope, high poverty population, an English learner population of about 30%. At Hope Elementary, we don't just use Hope as a strategy. We really utilize our partners, Next Gen Math, to ensure that our students are getting exactly what they need to succeed, and not just in school, but in life. They literally use these skills that we are teaching them every single day.
Could you share with us your school's math achievements journey? Let's go back pre-COVID, think COVID, post-COVID.
Pre-COVID, we were literally one of the worst scoring schools in the district in terms of CAS scores. Our school was sitting pretty low, I think in the 20% or so. I immediately partnered with Next Gen Math because their platform lent itself to ensuring that students were able to master standards. They have the gold standards, right? These are the standards that they definitely are going to see on the CASP assessment. We brought on Next Gen Math, got my teachers some training, and the very next year, our test scores grew exponentially. COVID hit like a year or so after that, right? And we were certain that what our kids needed was to continue to see us face to face. And so we were relentless about making sure that our students were online and continuing to learn every single day. Because of our relentless approach, over COVID, we continued to see gains. That was so important to us, that our students didn't just fall through the cracks, that they were right there continuing to receive great instruction, even online. In our post-COVID world, as we continue to implement the Next Gen Math platform into all of our math classes, we are seeing that continued rigor, the continued increase in the knowledge of our students year after year. Because our test scores continued to remain steady, right? There was very minimal growth. I reached out to Aaron and said, Aaron, I need a more strategic partnership. It's not enough that my teachers are just kind of working the platform, because our growth is kind of remaining steady. She said, Melanie, I have a person for you in our strategic partnership named Alejandra. Alejandra has been amazing. She reached out to me and said, what are your needs? And so we talked through our needs. And I said, my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade classrooms are struggling so hard. If I could strategically partner with you to get them professional development so that they understand the platform a little bit better, so that they're delivering quality instruction, I do believe that they are going to make all the difference. And this last year, that's exactly what we did. Alejandra connected with my teachers, connected with me, ensured that they had everything they needed for 2 weeks at a time. Whatever strand they were teaching, Alejandra ensured that she put together the assessment for that. If the teachers had any questions about how to teach that strand, Alejandra was available. Alejandra communicated with me via email, with them via email, so that they had a line of communication to her really at any time. She was super responsive. And because of that partnership, we were able to realize this last year a 4% gain in our math scores, just because of that strategic partnership with my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grades.
Awesome. So could you tell me a little bit more about that partnership with your teachers, perhaps the data piece, that assessment for learning, which was much more strategic? How did that impact your teachers, knowing that your teachers had a quality assessment for learning?
Yeah, they really, that was their target. So once they took a look at that assessment, they were like, oh gosh, I'm really not teaching in the way that the students need for understanding the assessment piece. And so what they did was they took a look at that assessment and said, oh gosh, I need to completely change how I'm teaching these standards so that I build that map for them in order to then be able to reach that assessment. I'll give you my second grade classroom, for instance. Prior to our partnership with Next Gen Math, my teacher was a literal page turner, just taught page one, day one. While that worked to a degree, what my teacher saw was that now, instead of her kind of being the sage on the stage, it has totally transformed the classroom. She then takes that strand of standards and she creates a slide deck and starts kind of releasing a little bit of information at a time. The students are doing all of the thinking and all of the learning. As she's continuing to question them, all they're doing is partnering with each other, discussing the information. The teacher then releases a little bit more information, and eventually all of the students are working the problem, but in a way that they understand, right? So if we went back to like the Go Math curriculum, for instance, there was a simple assessment, but it really didn't assess the depth of knowledge that those kids needed to be successful in this grade, the next grade, and the next grade. Next Gen Math ensures that those students don't fall through those cracks, that they are given all of the pieces of rigor in order to be successful, not just on the assessment, but really in life.
So what I hear you're saying is that we had a textbook-driven situation in the classroom. The assessment for learning data helped the teacher understand that, hey, we're going to now shift more to a standards-based learning. How did that change the culture for your school or for your classroom?
At this point now, the teachers are proud of their work. They're proud of their commitment to Next Gen Math. It's completely given the students a sense of, oh, I can do this. Like, I don't hate math anymore. I actually look forward to math class, because before we had a lot of kids like, oh God, I hate math. It's the worst subject, but it really isn't. Our kids look forward to math time because we're now building thinkers, right? These kids are thinkers. And they're not just, doing things by rote memorization. They're actually thinking, they're questioning each other. They're questioning our teachers, right? And so that's how Next Gen Math has really turned our culture around, that our students are literally looking forward to math every single day, because now math is fun for them.
You mentioned that your teachers are very proud of the accomplishments that are happening right now at Hope Elementary. I'm wondering, foundationally, how well your teachers understanding the frameworks now and making connections to day-to-day learning.
Our teachers are more confident because they're more competent around the gold standards, the priority clusters. So the key there was for them to know all of those components, because if they didn't, they would literally just be looking at the standard and kind of just teaching that standard, kind of just one standard at a time, and none of that really made sense. Now they have a literal blueprint from Next Gen Math on what's the most important.